Here I'm going to take and raise some metal up in the hat band, the hat brim, sorry. So here I have a line cut, and I'm using a chisel. This is just a piece of rod. GRS sells these, and I bought them years ago, and I just keep resharpening them and grinding them. Here's one made out of an old Allen key, but they dull out, and you got to resharpen them. And this is a punch that I made out of a beating tool. And that's what I use to punch and move the metal around. There's that. So now I just take the metal. Let's see if I can do this without anything. And if you look, this is slightly on an angle. Goes on an angle upward. It's not perfectly flat. So when I get the chisel in, I can slide across and move the metal. You can see it's raising up as I go. Turn it down a little bit. See here if I can get a better angle. And you just got to keep moving the metal going across. Change to a little heavier hammer for here. Now, as I'm cutting this, I'm really raising the metal up. Let me see if I could zoom in a little bit better so you could see. There's the metal pushed. Turn this light off and see if it's a little bit better for you. It really comes up pretty quick just tapping away. So here's the piece. Now what happens is you look at the hat. Here's the hat, and I started my piece that I have to move the metal on all the way up where the brim should be. So now all this metal is going to get curved and pushed up, curved and pushed up. So when I'm tapping away, I'm tapping, but I keep lifting this up. As I tap along, I lift up, and it's driving the metal up in the air. You can actually see it. Like if I'm tapping here as I go, I move up, and it's tapping and bending the metal. You got to just keep it in that line. See here, I'm at the end of the line, so I got to tap it down and come back in. Otherwise, you'll break this piece right off. But see, like here, it's off. Now you can just take that other punch that I made. I can get in there and just tap it back. So once you get it all cut, you could use a wider chisel. And that's going to smooth out some of these little lines, like these little dimples and valleys here. You come in with a wide chisel, it's going to raise it up. This was made out of a like a Tonka truck axle. I just took it and ground it into a flat chisel, and that's it. It's like no rocket science behind it. Just pushing it, raising the metal. A hammer and a chisel. Now after you have it cut, you'll see that like this is all rough here in this area. I made this cut thick enough here, like here, right? This piece is all bent. It's really, really bent. This is a regular 3/32 graver. I can get that graver right up underneath it. Now what I can do is I can come in with the graver where it's all rough. I could just get rid of, like, just shave off a little bit of the stuff underneath here. Just come in and clean all this up so it's not such a jagged edge. The other thing I do is I take little punches. These I make from old burrs, rotary burrs. So you take an old rotary burr, which just used to look like this. Here's the burr. I break off this piece here and grind it, and then you end up with a little small ball-peen hammer head. Like, just grind it off on an angle like this on my ceramic stone, back and forth, over, and then you come back in and you can punch all in here. You can use a hammer, punch all these edges down, and move it. You can smooth out all that edge. You can smooth out back here. You can even tap in. Just tap in the areas where it's got all the bulges and bumps, and come back in and tap some more behind to move it, whatever you want to do. The other thing that this is good for, if you have a scratch, you can take that scratch on the face, just come in. Let me get an angle where I can see it. I got to turn on the light. So I have that scratch there. You can come in and tap and move, just tapping it and holding. Let me see if I can turn it so you can see it. Tap it and move. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. And the scratch just pretty much goes away. If I brush it with a little oil and a brush, see, it's pretty much almost gone. It was up and down right there. Brush it off. So there's a quick thing on raising up the metal. Nothing was added to the coin. You saw me start. It was just a cut. Now what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll draw my hat band across it, like where I want the band to go. I'll draw it here. This will be the hat band. And where all the metal was removed, this rough spot, I'll cut this, and then I'll relieve all this area underneath. All that. Everything that's underneath. I'll take a wide flat, and I'll cut a line across here, and then I just go down underneath there and smooth all that out. This rough area that's underneath. But you can see how much, that's a point, there's a flat, well, broken flat, but, and then you go into there. You could even take your air tool if you want and just push like this, and that'll raise up that metal even more. And then once that's all smooth, I can take this peening tool that I had and just tap away on the hat. And peen in the area up above and just get rid of all this hair that was here just by hitting it with this tool. Now just like I said, a regular beading tool. And once they get worn, I just grind them off, just take them on a grinding stone, grind it off at a 90, and then I put it in my vise and I tap it like this. There we go, just tap it, just so you get all the scratchiness out of it in the stone. Then you can just bang it down and hit it until you smooth out all this metal. And that's it.